I learned early on that when you have to do a presentation and people are required to watch your presentation, you have what is known as a captive audience. And this is the perfect time to share family photos. Rick and I have two girls, and this was our eldest, Kendall. She's a little over a year old. We're in the North Woods of Minnesota with our lumber jackets on. We homeschooled our girls, and we had times when Rick worked with the girls one weekend to build a Rube Goldberg machine in our basement. The machine had an electric Thomas the Train that carried a candle that set a string on fire, that fired the bow that Kendall's holding, and shot a balloon full of Mentos that dropped into a vase of Diet Coke, and it exploded. It was awesome. This is my sister at her wedding, Alice and JK, with my parents. They look very cute, don't they? So Alice is married and also now has two girls. And it's funny because we have two brothers, both of whom have two boys each. But what's also funny is to think about the fact that my grandmother was the oldest of 12 children. This is my dad's parents. That means my great-grandmother spent most of her adult life either pregnant, recovering from pregnancy, or breastfeeding. Compare that to my generation, where we spend only a few years procreating. We're spending almost 30 years trying not to get pregnant. This is a revelation to me. We know that when a woman can choose if and when to have children, they're more likely to pursue higher education, have higher income, enjoy better physical and mental health, and contribute to the betterment of the community as a whole. We talk about this on a global health side, but it's also true here in the United States. In the US, 50% of teens who get pregnant will not complete high school. Of those that do, only 2% will go to college. Many, unfortunately, will get pregnant within the year following birth. But unintended pregnancy is not just an adolescent issue. Overall, we have a close to a 50% unintended pregnancy rate. Half of those are publicly funded through Medicaid or other services. And unintended pregnancies are closely correlated to a lack of prenatal care, preterm delivery and complications, NICU admission, maternal depression, and intimate partner violence. So what's different now? Now, there's significant evidence for the safety of long-acting reversible contraception for all women. These are called LARCs. In other words, we now know that IUDs does not equal pelvic inflammatory disease. And Nexplanon implants don't travel through your body and get stuck in your heart. We have evidence to support even the same-day insertion of IUDs or implants, eliminating the need for multiple visits to a gynecologist. We know that these methods can be used for women who have never had a pregnancy and even for adolescents. Just a few years ago, the city of Alexandria recognized that they had a serious teen pregnancy problem. A nurse practitioner-run clinic started providing IUDs and implants using Title X funding, and the rate plummeted. LARCs work, and women love them. I mentioned the 50% unintended pregnancy rate. That hasn't changed much over the years, but what has changed is that the greater burden has been on women of lower socioeconomic and education level. LARCs are also a hidden method that can be helpful for a woman who may be in a situation where she doesn't have a lot of other control over other aspects in her life. I care about this because it's a social justice issue. And this is huge for helping women obtain reproductive autonomy. My LIT review was meant to identify best practices for contraceptive care services. But what I learned is that success is based on shared decision making. We nurse practitioners are coming into the health system at a time when we are empowered to listen to the woman and help her get what she wants. As primary care providers, we can walk alongside, get it, women and support them in their goals. This was my mom and my sister and I in Pompeii. One example of the One Key Question program is where you ask, do you want to get pregnant the next year? This is so much easier than asking about vague, what are your plans for delivery or family planning? What's your plan for the next year? If it's no, we can encourage IUDs or implants as the most effective method of birth control. Before, one might think about timing, because IUDs are for long term, 5 years, 10 years. But change that thinking. Instead, we know that we get a return on investment of LARC within 2 years of use. So enjoy the wedding, enjoy the honeymoon, have a baby when you're ready. I laughed at one IUD manufacturer who created the This Is My Baby Now campaign with showing women with what they love to do, like a woman at the bottom of a playground slide and her cello is sliding down the slide. I also love, though, how this dispels the shame that's often associated when choosing whether to have a baby and recognizing how reproductive autonomy is a good thing for all women. Now, there are ethical issues to be aware of. In some countries, contraception can be used questionably. This is me on a medical mission trip in Rwanda outside of Kigali. Our church has a relationship with a ministry there that's since built a hospital run by an OBGYN. LARCs need to be used judiciously as women may not have access to follow-up care if they don't like it. But here in the United States, we have lots of resources, including our MAP clinics, where we can bridge women to reproductive health services and to a medical home. Now, I'm not promoting that everyone should have an IUD. Rather, I hope you take away that every woman should have what she wants. I know women who want big families. I have a friend who just had her 11th child. 11, I know, right? But they're the best parents, and these kids are going to be wonderful contributing members to the community. We can also support women who don't want children. They may want a dog. They may want to travel. They may want to finish school or have a career. We also have a population of women who don't want to get pregnant for medical reasons. And when considering the safety of birth control method, consider its effectiveness compared to the safety of her getting pregnant. With the addition of LARCs in our toolkit, we as primary care providers can provide a range of contraceptive options for women. I recommend bedsider.org as a great reference with tools that can rank birth control options based on concerns like effectiveness, privacy, convenience, side effects. The CDC has named unintended pregnancies as one of the top 6 public health concerns. If we join to make reproductive health services a part of primary care, we can, are you ready? Hit that target. Got it.